welcome back to the show. It is so good to have you here. I recently put out a poll around intimacy, and I wanted to get people's feedback around the challenges that they experience in intimacy. And so some of the topics that kind of weaved into that is shame, not feeling safe in the body, physical pleasure, communication, stuff like that. And so I wanted to record this episode to go in more depth, and I am going to be hosting a workshop around this because I think that we should all just be having better sex, better sex that we feel good in and like that we can enjoy and make it conscious as well too, if that's something that you want. Because trust me, when you can make love to somebody, especially someone that you love, it is one of the best things in the world. It truly is. And I want more people to experience that. And I feel like deep down people want to experience that, but they don't know how to because they feel disconnected from their body, or they feel like they have to settle for like really shitty sex lives. And no, we came to this earth to have good sex. So let's dive into this. So I did some research around I wanted to pull some factors. I wanted to pull some stats around all this stuff because it pretty much a lot of people that I talk to, especially in my past time doing couples therapy, a lot of that was one of the biggest things that came up was the sex life. And a lot of the times it was with people who were together for a long time. And even the people who were together for a long time, like communication in the bedroom was such a huge topic. And it kind of blows my mind because that's your partner. Like, you should be able to go to your partner and talk to them about anything. If you can't do that, one, you need to work on your relationship, or you just shouldn't be with that person, because out of everybody in the world, that should be your number one. And if they're not, then you shouldn't be with them. Straight up, you shouldn't be with them. That should be your number one person. So anyway, I want to get into some of these stats. So what I had researched was stuff around why are people's needs not being met in the bedroom? What type of dissatisfaction? Is it a physical thing? Is it an emotional thing? Or is it both? And although I have my own perspectives on this, both on a physical, emotional, and energetic perspective, which I am going to bring this into the episode, I needed some concrete facts as well too, because I just feel science is science. So another thing I asked too, because this was a common theme that I have pulled from my own case studies, is why are many men not willing to make sure that their woman is satisfied? Even I've had past experiences with exes where I was just left on they finished, and then once they were done, it just my needs were not met. And to me, I'm no, yeah, I've seen all these spiritual posts about oh, it's not always about, finishing. Yeah, it's not. It's about the connection. And also too, who doesn't want to finish? Let's just be fucking real about that. Okay? We got to be fucking real about that. Sex is fun. Sex is supposed to be fun and loving and wild and gentle and tender. All of these things, it can be all of these things. And a big reason why we like sex is so we can orgasm, so we get that release, because an orgasm is a form of releasing pent up emotions. Oh my gosh, the amount of women that I've encountered as well too, when they orgasm, is that there's a big emotional release that happens. They start to cry, right? And they may not necessarily be sad or angry or any of those things, but there's something that opens up in them that allows them to just fully become undone, because they're feeling these these really high frequency emotions, and their body is not used to that. And it feels overwhelming, right? And then they feel bad about themselves because they like cried during sex, or because like they felt something so deeply for someone while they were connecting with them and it brought them to tears, right? And so anyway, I went off on a tangent, but I want to share some of these research facts that I found. So I'm just going to be reading off. So if I sound like a robot, bear with me. So the Global Better Sex Survey found that a large percentage of both men and women are not fully satisfied with their sex lives. About 58% of women and 57% of men. So this dissatisfaction is common. Like, that is mind-blowing. So like literally like more than half of men and women are having like shitty sex lives. That percentage should be so much lower, right? And like I don't know. This is why I do the work that I do, because when I see statistics like this, I'm like, no, like we need to change something about this, because sex is okay. Like I said, sex is, it's meant for many different reasons, to create new life, for fun, for exploration, for expression, for releasing, for connecting. There's so many multi-layered, faceted stuff that goes hand in hand when it comes to being intimate with someone. And so the fact that people are not experiencing this intimacy, more than half of the population are experiencing sex at like a surface level, or like a dissatisfied level. Like, that's crazy to me, right? Okay, I'm going to go into the next fact. Okay, so a study with U.S. university students showed men were twice as likely as women to report always or almost always orgasming during intercourse. So 89% of men versus 45% of women. Okay, so 89% of men orgasm and 45% of women orgasm. So, I mean, and we know this. We know that as a woman, it is harder to climax, right? But again, like, these are beliefs and just things that we haven't been taught in intimacy, because the percentage for women should be higher, but men have not been taught how to show up in intimacy, how to explore a woman's body. And it's also on the woman as well too, because this is something I am just so passionate about. When I talk to my clients about this and they're telling me about challenges that they're having in their intimacy, I always ask them, like, well, what's your relationship with your body? Because if you're not feeling safe in your body, and you don't even know what you like, or like even have explored yourself internally, like with your hands, like, have you felt yourself? And again, there's a lot of shame around this. That stems from a lot of, religious structures and society around, masturbation. And you know what? Like, even the word masturbation sounds gross, but like, think about it as self-exploration, self-pleasure. Think about it as like getting to know your body and what you like. Like, that's almost like not knowing yourself and then getting into a relationship and expecting somebody to like you. Like, you need to learn your body. And that comes with connecting to your sensuality. So what I like to walk my clients through is like understanding their senses, like all of their senses, their taste, their like what kind of audible stuff that feels soothing to their body, or that turns them on. Even touch, like what type of touch feels good on their body that makes their nervous system feel safe, or what kind of touch like turns them on, And when it comes to touch as well too, like using textures as well. So, maybe for someone, I used to work with survivors of sexual violence around this, and I would encourage them to like have stuff in the room that made them feel safe. So like textures, like even like the softness of the sheets in their bedroom when they were with their current partner. softness of the sheets, the texture of their blanket, even like the softness or hardness of their pillow, what type of scents were in their room. Like, and scents are one of, like, it's the most strongest sense, sorry. Because it brings back a lot of memories. Like you can smell something and remember a time in your life. And that was when I was working with survivors of sexual violence on a one-on-one basis. Like they would remember the scent of, their perpetrator, or they would remember the scent of the room. And if that came up in an environment later on in their journey, that it would like full on trigger them, right? And so the smelling sense like is so powerful. And you can use that to rewire your nervous system to feeling safe. So I would always encourage them to play around with some essential oils. Ones that I loved were like peppermint, lavender, chamomile. Peppermint was like my favorite. Like it always just calmed me and just helped me really come back into my body. And so having that is going to be so vital as well too, like when you are practicing intimacy. So anyway, I'm not going to go through all the senses on here, but I really do think that it is so important for women to learn their body and how their body responds to senses, and even to the senses of their partner as well too. Like getting to know their partner's senses and bringing that into the bedroom, because it's about you and it's about your partner. Like you guys are coming into union for this, and it needs to be a safe space for both of you. It needs to be like a comfortable and exciting and tender and loving space for the both of you. And so this could be like something that you and your partner talk about beforehand, before intimacy, like getting to know each other's senses, and then bringing that into the bedroom, like bringing both into the bedroom. Like when I say both, I mean yours and his, into the bedroom, so that you guys can both have like this heightened experience that it's supposed to be. Okay? All right. Let's get back to these facts, because honestly, these facts are just like mind-blowing to me. Okay. Okay, let's do... Oh, yeah. Okay, so I asked about communication barriers as well, too. And so more than half, 55% of women in one U.S. sample said that they wanted to communicate with a partner about sex, but decided not to. The reasons included embarrassment, fear of hurting their feelings, shame, discomfort, going into detail. Okay? And in another study on sexual desire problems, there were negative beliefs, emotional blocks, automatic thoughts of like poor self-talk, mental stories, and that they were strongly tied to low desire in women. So based on like my experience working with women around this too, like a lot of people feel really uncomfortable to go into detail about what they like, what they don't like. And I understand why that can feel uncomfortable, but these are conversations we have to have if we want to have a healthy sex life, if we want to have healthy intimacy, if we want to enjoy it, not just enjoy it for fun, but to build a deeper connection and intimacy. Because your partner is not going to know what you're thinking if you don't tell them. Especially if you've gone through traumatic incidences in sexual violence or sexual assault or sexual harassment, whatever it is. I know when you've gone through that, they could be much harder to come into safety. And I know that from my own experience. But these are conversations that need to be had. And it's important for you to be transparent, because like the person that you're going to be with, like think about it, if you're planning to spend a lifetime with someone, or you're in a long-term relationship, like are you frequently going to continue to just like have unenjoyable sex, like, I really don't want that for you. You deserve to have a good sex life. You deserve to enjoy it and feel free and express. So I want you to think about, like, well, what's beneath the discomfort of going into detail? Is it connected to, okay, I don't want to hurt my partner's feelings. I don't want them to think that they're bad at sex. Like, no one's bad at sex. We just haven't been taught to connect with each other on a proper level. Okay, it's just about learning your body and learning your partner's body. And that can take time. But aside from it taking time, it could also just happen really quickly if you are actively listening and applying and integrating what your partner is communicating to you. So for example, like, okay, we're gonna get down into the nitty-gritty. I'm gonna be your living example of like how we're gonna talk about sex with our partners. But say your partner is like going down on you. I've had to do this with a past partner before. Like, he was going down on me and he was just being like really rough and like fast, like right from the get-go. And I was like, okay, whoa, like, slow down. Just slow down. It's not a buffet. This is a fucking, like, this is a 3-course meal. Take your time. Take your time, baby. Right? And so let's use that example. Your partner's going down on you and they're just like being really rough. It's hurting you. You need to speak up and say something and say, hey, you know what? Like, I love what you're doing, but like, maybe like if we can just slow things down. It feels good slow at first. And then you just direct them. And you don't have to direct them all the time. Like, this is something that you do maybe when you're first starting to be intimate, or maybe like even too, like, I mean, ongoing communication is fucking great, but once you learn someone's body to you kind of just know what they like, and that could change too. So there's always going to be communication, either verbally or like through reading sexual cues or reading their body language and knowing their sounds. Like, it's literally an art to learn. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because it's so different for everybody as well too. But when you have that connection with your partner, it's not going to feel as hard. It's not going to feel as dissatisfying. In fact, it's going to be the best sex of your life, because you guys know what each other like, and you guys know what each other likes. And you're not going to be like all up in your head. Like, I know that that's a big thing that comes up for women as well too, is they're just in their head while they're intimate. And that's why they're not orgasming as well too. That's why they're not feeling satisfied, is because they're thinking of their to-do list, or they're thinking about like, oh my gosh, how does my body look right now? Or is he enjoying it? Am I doing this right? Like, all of these things come up, and I know as a woman that we all think about those things, and you're not wrong for feeling that way, but I want you to know that there is another way, and you don't have to be all up in your head when it comes to sex. In fact, it should be so intuitive to you that you're flowing through it, and that like you're acting on healthy instinct, and your primals are turned on, and your softness as well too, and your surrender. Like, all of these different like portals in your sexual body, and your energetic body, and your physical body are going to be working all at once, and like, you in your divine femininity are just knowing how to flow through that all at once, like all of them coming together. Like, you can just see them all coming together: the wildness, the tenderness, the softness, the surrender, the sexy, all of it, right? And that can only happen when you have that true connection to your body, and that you and your partner are making intentional strides towards learning each other in the bedroom. Okay. And so, yeah, that's going to require difficult conversations. It's going to require you guys to guide each other. It's going to require communication in the moment, after the moment as well, too. And another thing, this wasn't in the stats, but I guess this is like my own stats, but what I hear from a lot of women is like when the intimacy is over, the aftercare part, like, is someone staying to hug you and hold you and like look into your eyes? And if that's not happening, and if that's something that you want, hey, some people are okay with that, and that's fine. But I'm assuming if you're listening to this, that you're like a big lover girl and you're sensitive and you want to be held after, because it's a very vulnerable state to be in. Like, first of all, naked, someone entering you and like being in your liquids, smelling your body odor and all of that stuff, like it's a very vulnerable state to be in, especially after, like, if you've orgasmed or you've seen your partner orgasm. Like, it is a letting go, right? Like, it's like a feeling of losing control in a sense, right? And so you want to feel like you're still loved after. You want to feel like you're nurtured after. You want that warmth. You want that safety. And you're not wrong for that. And so I think, a lot of men need to learn that, which I want to make, and I'm going to make a course for men when it comes to intimacy as well. Because I think men know how to have, I'm generalizing right now, which I don't like, but a lot of men are not necessarily conscious around how to show up in the bedroom, okay? And it is their responsibility to learn and understand that and to integrate that to make their woman feel safe. Like, I 100% think that it is so important to make your partner feel safe in the bedroom because of how vulnerable it is, right? And yeah, so anyway, I'm going to make a course content on that because I think it's important and it's so needed right now. Okay. So the next stat that was pulled was around effective partner sexual behavior. So, do I want to read this one? Hang on. Premature ejaculation symptoms in male partners correlated with lower satisfaction and orgasm outcomes, lubrication issues, etc. For women. Physical performance, timing, responsiveness matters. Okay. Sorry, this sentence did not make any sense, but anyway. Yeah, I think let's talk about like the lubrication part. Like, I feel like with a lot of men, like they don't know how important foreplay is, right? Like, to really warm the woman's body up. And like, it actually takes 20 minutes, I believe 20 minutes for a woman's cervix to like warm up. Like, you can't just like stick it in. It needs to be warmed up. It needs to be touched. It needs like, it needs warming up, just as like, and first of all, because like it's a muscle, right? Like we need to understand that it is a muscle. Our genitals, they have muscles, right? And so, just like if you were warming up for sex, warming up for the gym, warming up for sex, just as if you were warming up for the gym, you're not going to like get right into your workout and start lifting heavy. Like, no, like you got to do some functional movements. You got to stretch, you got to warm your body up, and then you go into it, because that's how you're going to have a good workout. Otherwise you're going to hurt yourself. And that's why a lot of women experience a lot of pain, is because like they experience like people are just rushing through it because they want like that high of the orgasm. And it's so much more than that. Like, yes, like I said, like orgasming is fucking important. We all want that. We all want to orgasm. But it's also so important, like the way to get there, the journey on getting there, because that's the fun part of it. That's the fucking fun part of it. Like after the orgasm is done, and it's great, but like it's almost like savoring it and like really enjoying the sensations and the connection and what happens in that journey on the way to the orgasm, right? And so foreplay it's so necessary, and foreplay looks so different to everybody. I feel like kissing and like touching and like just kissing on the neck, especially, and like on like the chest areas, like those more sensitive areas, that's what's going to like really help with the foreplay and warming up the body as well too, because they're sensitive areas, right? So think about like areas on your body where you feel like ticklish or sensitive, or and try to like connect with those parts of your bodies like during intimacy with your partner, during the foreplay part. Yeah. Okay. What else did I want to share about this? I think this is going to have to be like a 2-part episode because there's so much to talk about with this. And it's so interesting to me because, like I said, like it's literally an art. It's literally a science as well too. And if people just took the time to like learn and integrate it, like people would be having much more better sex lives. So anyway, it's going to happen because I'm leaving you with all this information. Yeah. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm going to do a part 2 on this, and I'm going to go into more in depth about like why women's needs go unmet. And even with men too, like I want to go more into depth around like their perspective of it and how they navigate through it and the different experiences that they have. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this juicy episode. I know I enjoyed talking about it, and it makes me so happy to talk about these things because I think like, well, we're all living in our human bodies and we all crave intimacy and connection, and we need to start being more intentional about it instead of just like using it as something to numb us out. I see that a lot where people are just like sleeping with multiple people, and hey, I'm not judging anybody, but at the same time, I'm also just like, your body is so sacred, especially if you are a sensitive being. You're picking up other people's shit when you have sex with them. And then you're wondering like why you feel bad or like why you feel used. And there's deeper things beneath that need to be resolved. And I'm telling you that when you resolve those things and you move through it, you're going to gain so much more respect for yourself. You're going to be so discerning about who enters you or who you enter. And it is going to change the way that you experience intimacy. It really is. It's like there is a type of intimacy that many people are not experiencing because they're using sex as a numb out, as an anger release, as an ego filler as well too. Like a lot of people, might sleep with people for like the status part or whatever it is, and like to say, oh, like I slept with that person, and you know what, like though, like first of all, like those are not the people that we're sleeping with, guys, okay? maybe in the past where we were like really going through it, okay, we all have those mistakes, but no, like you're ready for intimacy that feeds your soul, like where you can be seen in your sexiness and nurtured in your tenderness at the same time, where you have lovemaking and you also have like the wild sex that like turns you on and makes you feel like you're oh, like you're just like out of this world. Like both of those things can bring you that feeling. And you deserve that. You deserve to be fulfilled in your sex life. You're not wrong for wanting that. And you don't have to hide your expression, because hiding your expression is just, it's going to, one, create illness in your body, and two, it's going to create an emotional blockage for you. So you might as well just be honest, like be brave and have the courage to speak and express your needs for what you want, rather than suppress it and just like have mediocre or like really bad sex. No. Okay. I have one-on-one spots open for my one-on-one premium mentorship. And I want to invite you into that. Like if intimacy is something that you're struggling with and you need someone to work through that with you and help you to understand your body signals, your connection to your sensuality, your connection to your own body. Trust me, I needed someone to do that with me when I was going through my shit. And I feel so fucking great in my body. I mean, obviously, like I'm human and I have my own insecurities and stuff, but I feel really good in my body because I've practiced connecting to it. And I pass this on to my clients because I feel as women, you know, we've just been so conditioned to not prioritize ourselves and our bodies and, you know, be objectified. And there are people out there who don't want to objectify you. There are people out there who want to nurture your body and love you and take care of you. And you deserve that. But you also have to be able to give that to yourself as well. And I'm so passionate about teaching this, and it's changed so many people's lives to the point where, like, I had a client, she's been with her husband for many, many years, and they were experiencing some challenges in the bedroom, and all it took was like a conversation and her to express herself. And she was so scared. Like, I remember when she told me, she's like, oh my God, like, how am I going to tell him this? Like, I just feel so embarrassed. I'm like, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. And like, your husband loves you. I knew their relationship. I know the both of them. And I was like, your husband loves you. Like, he's going to want to know that you're feeling like this. And he's going to want to know how to show up for you, because that's a big pressure for men as well. Like, men have big pressures in the bedroom. Like, think about it. Like, you know, they have the pressure of like getting it up, because like without that, I mean, sex can't happen, right? So anyway, not to change the topic, but a lot of men, okay, I know the statistics don't show this, but I also just know a lot of men who do want to show up in the bedroom for their woman, and who do want to satisfy them and want to learn more about them and learn their body so that their woman feels satisfied. Because also too, it's an ego thing for them. Like, guys like to be good at sex. You know what I mean? And so a man in his healthy masculinity is going to be able to receive that. They're going to be able to receive the feedback and receive like, okay, like let's pivot from here. And then they're going to apply it and integrate it, because they want their woman to feel good, and they want to know that they're fucking good at sex as well too. So yeah. Anyway, after she had this conversation with him and we like ran through on the type of verbiage that she would use, and, you know, how he would receive it, and also like potential responses that he might have. And after she had this conversation, like, their whole sex life fucking changed. Like, they were so connected on a level. I remember her telling me, she's like, I have never felt so connected to him, like on like a physical, emotional, and energetic level in my whole life. And they've been together for a really long time. And I told her, I was like, yeah, like sometimes it just takes the communication, and not just communication, but understanding. And again, like I said, integrating what is being communicated, right? And so, yeah. So if you're someone, if you're dating, if you're in a relationship, whatever it is, my one-on-ones are for you because we can all improve in our intimacy and our connection to self. And so that's what I do. I hold really sacred space in my one-on-one containers, and my clients see like really great results. That's why I'm so passionate about it. Okay, my love, thank you so much for tuning in. It has been such an honor, so much fun to talk about this. I gotta do more episodes about this, and I will. But if you're not following me yet, follow me on Instagram. It is iam.samanthagilhooly, GILHOOLY. And yeah, I upload lots of content there, and I'd just love to see you on my page, and send me a DM. Let me know what resonated for you the most in this episode, or feel free to post it to your socials and share it with someone who might need to hear this. I'm sending you big love, big hugs, and I'll see you on the next show.